Hey, what's up, my friends? So thank you once again for spending time with me this week. So yeah, I have a question from Denise. She dropped me an email, saying, "Hey, Rainer, I'm new to trading. How should I, start trading? Where should I look at? Because there's a ton of information on the internet. I don't know where to start." So my reply to Denise is this, right? You can just go down to my website, tradingwithrainer.com, and I have a tab down there called University. Go and check it out because I've basically consolidated tons of training videos, tons of blog posts where it's basically for beginners, intermediate, and up to experienced traders. So you can slowly look through it. We go through the basics like what is forex, what is a stock. We talk about basic concepts like what is long, what is short, what is a tick value, what is a pip value. Then we talk about indicators and much more. So go down there and do check it out. And if you want more information, you scroll to the bottom of my website. There is a button called resources. Click on it and I have a list, right, called free trading courses. You can click on those courses and there's a list of trading courses which are absolutely free of charge. You can just check it out and just take up any of these trading courses which I will believe will help in your trading career in the long run. So all these are free, right? The courses are free, the university is free. Just check it out. I would highly recommend it. And now back to the markets. First thing first I want to talk to you about is the S&P 500. It's a market that's widely followed by traders, investors worldwide. And over the last few years, you see the S&P 500, it's in a very nice trend. But in the last few weeks, something has changed, right? The structure of the market is clearly changing. It's no longer the same nice trend you've seen over the last 3-4 years. But right now we see in fact, a change in structure. So I want to share with you my take on it. Then we'll talk to you about the dollar yen. I'll share with you the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and how I look to trade these different currency markets. So all this and more in this week's market analysis. I'll see you there. Okay, so you're looking at the chart of the S&P 500, and I want to highlight to you that I see a structural change in the markets. So what do I mean by having this structural change in the markets? If you look at the S&P 500, this is the weekly chart, and you scroll back a little bit, you notice that price has been respecting the 20 and 50 period moving average over the last few years, right? The last 3 years. And what happened in recent weeks is that we have a close below the 50 EMA over here. Then we have this very strong rally, right? You see this bullish pin bar, right? Rally all the way back up. And subsequently, after the next 3 weeks, we have this basically, price consolidating below the 50 period moving average. And basically, if you look at it, you notice price is currently, the uptrend, right? The easy move or the easy money to go long on the S&P is basically over. And right now, price seems to be transitioning into another phase. And from the looks of it, it's currently ranged between these lows over here, right? This is the key support area and this key resistance area over here. So it's basically transitioning from a very nice, strong trend into a range markets. So in this range market, you want to pay attention to two things, right? Number one is this, whether this support area, whether it can hold up or whether this resistance, will hold up. So if price were to take out these lows over here, I would say it's a bearish sign because, we can expect, lower prices to come. And likewise, if price took out this resistance over here, we can expect higher prices to come. So in the meantime, the S&P is in a range. And honestly, I'm not a bull or I'm not a bear. I'm basically waiting for price to show me what it wants to do. So I get rid of the lines. And it's very simple. My thought process is something like this. I know this is the support area. I know this is the key resistance. So if price were to trade below these lows over here, I'll be a bear and I'll look to short the S&P. And likewise, if price were to take out this resistance over here, I'll be a bull and I'll look to trade the S&P from the long side. So that's basically my plan for the S&P 500. And if you look at the daily chart, you can see that on Thursday and Friday, we have rejection of higher prices. This was a key swing high. Then you saw when the Yellen made an announcement that they weren't going to raise interest rate, we see, price, trading lower over here. So there's a rejection of higher prices. So then Friday, price also closed lower as well. So my take on this is, price will go back into this range over here, and we'll have to wait for another catalyst or news to, to decide whether, the S&P wants to trade higher or lower. But a key area to still look out for, which I've highlighted, is basically this one over here and this resistance over here. So yep, that's all I have for you on the S&P 500. Now, another market I want to share with you is actually the dollar yen. Looking at the weekly chart, again the dollar yen, so you look at the weekly chart, it is still bullish. You see higher highs and higher lows. But again, there is a structural change in the markets. From what you can see right now, over the last, I would say the last few months, you notice that the dollar yen is basically in a range. This is the lows and this is the highs. So again, same thing as the S&P, I'll be watching closely at the lows over here. If price were to be able to take out the lows, I'll be looking to short the dollar yen. And if price will be able to take out the highs over here, I'll be looking to long dollar yen. And in the meantime, I'll stay out of this market until price shows me what it wants to do. So yeah, this is basically what I do. I don't try to anticipate what the market will do. I don't predict what it will do. I just simply react to what price wants to do. Price would have to make a move first before I will decide how I want to trade it. So yep, similar theme again here on the dollar yen. And now I'll talk to you about the euro dollar. So the euro dollar, something interesting is setting up. Let me zoom out a little. So you can see the euro dollar, we had a slide, right, of lower prices basically in 2014. And right now, when you look at the chart, something interesting is happening, because over here, what you can conclude is price is ranging. So when you see this range over here, it could be one of two things. Number one, it could be an accumulation. Basically, big traders, they are accumulating their positions and to anticipate higher prices to come. Number two, it just could be a normal consolidation before price resumes the trend. And which is it? Which is which? Is it accumulation or just a normal consolidation before the trend resumes? And honestly, I don't know. I can't predict what it's gonna be. Well, I can do it on hindsight after the move is over, but if you are trading live right now on the rightmost of the chart, I can tell you, I do not know whether it's an accumulation or simply a consolidation before lower prices to come. So here's what I'll do instead. I'll be observing this range, right? Basically the range from here, this resistance area, and this lows over here. So if price will be able to take out this highs over here, I'll be a bull. I'll be looking to get long on the euro dollar. And if it slump below the lows over here, I'll be looking to get short on the euro dollar. So this is basically my plan for the euro dollar. I don't try to react or try to predict. I will just simply react to what I see. Similarly for the pound dollar, if you look at it, it's also in a range between these highs over here and these lows over here. So I don't know which way it's going to go, but if price were to break out in either direction, that's how I'll look to trade my plan. So in the meantime, I'll just be watching the markets and try not to do anything silly like breaking my own trading rules, because that is not professional. I have a set of trading rules and I'm just following it religiously. And so yeah, I just want to add a little bit more additional bit of nuggets for you. So sometimes you may wonder, I'm sharing with you between the euro dollar and the pound dollar, and you think if both of them break out at the same time, which pair should you long? Should you long the euro dollar or the pound dollar? So here's what I mean. Say for example, the pound dollar breaks out of this resistance over here, and also the euro dollar also breaks out of this resistance over here. And the question I'll usually get is, Rainer, which pair do I long? Do I long the euro dollar or do I long the pound dollar? So usually I have two options for you. Number one option is you split your position size between the euro dollar and the pound dollar. Say for example, usually you risk 2% on each trade. You risk 1% on the euro dollar, another 1% on the pound dollar. Option number two is where I'll talk about relative strength. So it's an advanced concept, so you may want to listen to me closely where I talk about relative strength. So let's say both pound dollar and euro dollar has broken out higher. Which one do you want to trade? So what I can tell you is that go and look this exotic pair, not exotic, I'll say this I won't really call it exotic pair, but this cross pair. We'll look at euro pound. So euro pound is this chart over here. So you can see euro pound right now is in a range as well between this resistance and this support area over here. So this is what's going to happen. If I notice that the euro dollar and the pound dollar both break out of their resistance area that I've highlighted over here, I'll watch what the euro pound is doing. Because if the euro pound also break out of this resistance over here, what is it telling you? It's telling you that the euro is basically strengthening against the pound. This is why the euro pound broke out of this resistance over here. The euro is strengthening against the pound. And if I see this, the euro pound breaking out of the resistance, it's telling me that the euro dollar is stronger than the pound dollar. And in this scenario, should it occur, I'll be looking to long the euro instead. I'll look to long the euro compared to the pound dollar based on this relative strength concept that I've explained to you. So yeah, this is a little bit more advanced, but I would say, you can still use it to help you improve your trading as well, because you'll be usually going long the stronger currency pair or short the weaker currency pair. So this is an additional tidbit or nugget for you. Hopefully you will find it useful. So yeah, that's all I have for you in this week's market analysis. A lot of it, like I've shared with you earlier, the S&P, I'm just waiting for the highs or lows to be taken out before I base my trading decision. Similarly for the dollar yen, whether the highs or lows will be taken out. Then I talked to you about the euro dollar and the pound dollar. They are both in a range. And I share with you that, how I use the euro pound, this cross currency pair, to base my decision whether I want to be long the euro dollar or the pound dollar. So yep, that's all I have for you in this week's market analysis. I hope you find it useful. With that, I wish you good luck and good trading. I'll talk to you soon.